Welcome to Boston Sports Nuts. I'm Jim Russo with my good friends Paul Izzo. Paul?
Good to be here, boys.
And Ken Berman. Ken?
Hi, guys.
All right.
Nice to see you.
Before we get started on the Pats, Ken, you want to give us the ratings update, which I understand has become the most popular segment on the show.
Yeah, it's out of control through the country. Just, I can't even tell you how it's soaring. It's, it goes up and up and up.
This has become the most popular segment too, right?
Mm.
Is that what your research shows?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's get to the Pats. Enough.
I mean, we're not talking about the coach of Providence College whipping a ball. Okay, we'll get to kidding.
No, that was coach of Georgetown, former coach of Providence College.
Oh, that's right. The coach of Georgetown.
No, let's get to the Patriots. Since we've been on, they've had two spectacular games. One which didn't have the outcome we liked, which was the Buffalo game, but I still say that was a great NFL game to watch. And Paul, you were there. And then last night was another great Pats game to watch. Paul, start wherever you want. The Pats.
Well, first of all, I frankly was waiting, like all of us were, for that first big fourth quarter comeback drive that Drake May didn't have yet on his resume. Yeah, I was getting a little tired of that whole story. And not only did he answer it, but he answered it on a 90-yard drive, which is pretty damn impressive. That's a long way to go.
Yeah.
A lot of plays had to be made, a lot of good throws. They got a couple of calls. They had a couple of non-calls, but it was a very, very exciting finish. And so, if you look at the end of that game, I think the Patriots sort of rose up to the moment in a way that they hadn't yet shown they could do this season. I mean, despite all their wins, they had not in a December cold, windy primetime game done what they had to do to win a game in the fourth quarter. And that's part of having a successful season. We all see it every week, these teams with these comebacks. So I was proud of them. That was pretty cool.
So first of all, let me say 12-3 for the New England Patriots, 12-3, everybody. That is just still mind-boggling to me. But two things yesterday, he got his 300-yard game that everybody's been talking about. So get that monkey off your back. And then the fourth quarter, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter were just great. Like you said, Jim, great theater, great game, especially as a Pats fan. So yeah, just a terrific. That was fun. Like, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying at the beginning. The last 2 weeks, 1-1, but yeah, like you said, fun to watch again. I mean, it's great to have the Pats good. They've been competitive in these games. Everybody's like, oh, these are big games and they got to win them to prove this and prove that. Well, they were competitive in both games. And, if they did happen to lose yesterday and win the division, who says they wouldn't have their breaking out moment in the playoffs? So, but they did have it last night. And Drake May was spectacular in the fourth quarter. And it was just great to watch. But on the flip side, it's the NFL, and they had a lot of guys hurt last night. Oof. Pats have been relatively healthy this year.
Except for the last few
fair
weeks.
About it, and it caught up to them last night. And of course, we have no idea how long they're going to be out. But Henderson and others, the Henderson one, and Butte and others. But they survived them all. The Ravens had their big one. They lost Jackson, and just a great win for the Pats.
Jim, I know you were thinking just like me. Once Lamar Jackson went out, we were screwed. There's no way we were going to win this game. They lost their star. How could we win? Except we were on the road. So there you go.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
The road
and
field
Huntley's
advantage.
Not bad. He's won big games for them. Big games for them. So I thought they'd still be competitive, and they were. So, Paul, anything else on the defense?
Well, I have a couple things.
Yeah.
The Patriots have a lot of issues. They're struggling to run the ball without their starting offensive lineman in. That's a big problem. They now look very thin at the running back position, which is not where you want to be in these cold weather games. They're getting beat up defensively, as far as injuries, I think if they're going to continue on over the next, if they get some guys back, Milton Williams, Will Campbell, Spillane, that will obviously change things. But for the time being, I think it all rests on the shoulders of Drake May, because they are, despite all the other injury problems they have, they're healthy at quarterback and wide receiver. They have Butte, they have Diggs, they have Hunter Henry, they have Hooper, they have Demario Douglas, they have Kyle Williams, they have all those guys. And if they're going to win, that's where they're going to win. And we saw it last night. They struggled to stop even us. I think the question everybody asking in Baltimore is, where was Derrick Henry near the end of the game?
Last two series, he didn't play.
Right. Baltimore stuck with their rotation. And, Harbaugh is getting a lot of grief in the Baltimore media about it. I think deservedly.
Yeah.
But again, going back to Drake May, I think if the Patriots are going to continue, it's going to be on the arm of that wonderful new draft pick that the Patriots fell into in 2024.
Yeah, I think they really miss Williams and Spillane, no doubt about it. I mean, the Henry thing, Collinsworth pointed it out last night. And the linebacking just isn't the same. They're pretty weak there right now. And Spillane, they really need him back. And you can run the ball on them. It's getting pretty obvious. But
since Williams has been out.
Yeah, since he's been out. And, but Drake May is, he's become the equalizer on this stuff. And, hopefully Butte will be playing next week and Douglas will be playing next week because, like Paul said, it's become their receivers and Drake May. But having said that, Stevenson had a really good game last night.
I was just going to point that out.
Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
No, I'm with you. I thought Stevenson was fantastic, but I can't not mention this right now because it's on top of mind. That pass and catch to Kyle Williams is as spectacular as it gets for a touchdown. That was the pass, the catch. That was unbelievable. I mean,
yeah, and that was an incredible play. And the other thing I think you really got to like about the Pats last night, that non-call was atrocious. I mean, the announcers, the ref wherever those refs sit at their homes or wherever studios they go to, I forgot who was doing it last night, was all over it. It was just atrocious. And that would have been a huge play.
Yeah.
And, Butte got hurt on the play. But the Pats came back and scored.
Right.
And, I think that says a lot about them, that they were able to overcome that.
What do you think about Diggs's game? I thought he was tremendous as well.
Diggs. No, Diggs is the master at finding the openings and getting the yards and not hurting himself. He wisely goes out of bounds.
Yep.
He usually isn't tackled. He makes contested catches and then falls to the ground to keep himself healthy. There's a lot to like about that guy. He's funny. He's a combination of a big play receiver and a slot receiver. He's a very unique skill set. He's shifty. He's not really that fast. He's not like Kyle Williams or Demario Douglas, but he's a pro. He's a pro's pro, and he's taking a real leadership role on the team, which is a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that stat last night that he catches 82% of contested catches. I'm no football stats expert, but to me, that just sounds out of this world. That's just incredible. And great signing by the Pats. And yeah, he has been a leader. And the other thing about him, this league is famous for star receivers who aren't getting the ball a lot. The so-called diva wide receiver. And he doesn't get the ball for 100 yards every game. The last two games, he hasn't got many passes. This game, what did he finish? 138 yards or something? He's
9 catches.
As far as I know, he's never complained. And because it's that type of offense. It's the who's open offense. And like in the Brady years. And, I think he's been great. I think he's just been great. So.
9 receptions. By the way, once again, Drake May was like 74% pass completion.
Yeah, I was happy. Yeah, I was happy to see him have a good national game appearance.
Mm,
I don't know why it matters to me, but as a fan, it does.
yeah.
Because at the beginning he was a little shaky, and Chris Collingsworth was. By the way, I thought Collingsworth, he talks a lot, and I hate the laughing while talking thing that he does. But I thought he had a good game. He was very quick to point out some things.
Yeah.
He was all over that chase on move where he
Yeah.
rushed the quarterback and ran downfield. He was on that very quickly. I don't know if he's got interns talking in his ear, but no, I thought that once Drake May got going, it was, I'm sure the rest of America was looking and going, oh, you got to be freaking kidding me. They got this kid. Oh my God. No,
Yeah.
please. Anything but
Yeah.
this.
Collinsworth, I was going to mention that a couple minutes ago. I agree. I thought he was phenomenal once. He was pointing things out that, were very interesting to me. And he was right on about Drake May for a quarter and a little bit of the second. He looked a little confused. He wasn't as accurate. And then it all went away. I mean, he was back to himself. And, once he figured it out, he was great. And I thought Collinsworth did a great job, not only on that, but on other things like pass rushes. And
Yeah.
I thought he was really, really good last night. And I don't watch a lot of Sunday night games, so I don't know how he's been all year.
What do you mean you don't watch him? I wait all day for Sunday night.
I know. I
mean,
I
Carrie
know.
Underwood. I mean, I'm a football fan, but I don't watch any football. I don't watch the 9 a.m. games.
Nothing.
I don't watch the NFL Today with Phyllis George and Brent Musburger and Jimmy the Greek. I don't watch the 1 o'clock game. Even if the Patriots are in it, I don't watch it. I don't
Just
watch
Sunday
the
night.
4 o'clock game with Kirk Gowdy and Al DeRogatis. I don't watch the 7:30 red zone rundown. I wait all day.
For Sunday
Sunday
night.
Okay,
night.
let's pivot a little.
If there's a game on Thursday, I don't watch it. I just
Speaking
wait
of
Sunday night.
watching, speaking of watching football, I probably watched more yesterday than I have all season in 4 days. Never mind one. And I have to say, a lot of the games didn't turn out the way I wanted them to turn out, but I thought it was a great day for the NFL.
Oh,
I mean,
totally. Agreed.
Just
Agreed.
a phenomenal day. You go around the league, the Jacksonville-Denver game, Jacksonville on the road beat Denver. The Lions and the
Steelers.
the Packers was just was phenomenal. Just great. And I'm sorry, the Packers. It was Aaron Rodgers. The Lions and the Steelers, because they told us 5 times Aaron Rodgers threw the Hail Mary 10 years ago. And then Aaron Rodgers. But anyway, I thought that game was great. It looked like, Lions seemed to have made a miracle comeback. Paul, any other observations on the league?
Well, I did text you guys, as our viewers know, we text constantly during these games. The ending of the Lions-Steelers game had the potential to have what would have gone down as one of the 10 most remarkable endings in the history of the entire National Football League.
Yeah.
Being to have a ball caught at the half-yard line with no time left, lateraled back to a quarterback who then dives into the end zone for the winning touchdown. It was too bad that it was a pass interference on the offense. By the way, I think that call was less obvious than the one they didn't call on Booty.
That was but
it was offensive pass interference.
No question.
Yeah.
But I think it was probably 8 out of 10. Booty was 10 out of 10. But and Jacksonville's for real. Yeah, everybody's discounting them. They've got a coach. Where did that coach go to school, Jim? I'm trying to. Their head coach.
Cal Academy, my alma mater. He was a starting quarterback for them. High school in Providence, Rhode Island.
That's right. Oh, I forgot that. You hadn't reminded me the last 10 minutes where he
very good high school.
Yes,
another Rhode Island head coach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, pretty remarkable ending. And it's interesting. We went back and forth in the morning about what we wanted to have happen. I'm still wanting to avoid going to Denver. I know you could have made an argument that letting Denver win and keeping Jacksonville back so that there's no competition for number 2 seed, especially now that the Patriots won that Baltimore game and they have 2 games ahead of them where they'll be favored. I feel like that was the outcome that was best for the Patriots, is to have Denver with the same record. the unfortunate thing that's happened to the Patriots is that Denver's now going to play Kansas City, who can't even beat the Titans without Patrick Mahomes.
Well, their
So-
second string quarterback probably tore an ACL yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought the Lions ending too. I mean, 2 straight pass interference calls,
Right.
and absolutely obvious, totally obvious on both of them. And they took a long time figuring out what to do with that ending, but whoever's doing the color was absolutely right. I mean, offensive pass interference, the rest doesn't matter. I mean, I know they had to figure it out for the record and the record books and all that, what the play actually was, whether it was a touchdown, but the bottom line is that's it. You can't, and you end the game on an offensive penalty. That's the rule. And, but Aaron Rodgers, by the way, in his post-game interview said, they were like, where do you go from here? And he said something like, well, we're going to enjoy this one and we're going to watch Sunday Night Football and root for the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And so maybe
He did say
rooting,
that.
maybe
You know,
they
it was kind of
pushed us over the top.
I don't remember. Was that pass 4th down?
Yes.
So it's interesting to think about that play. If the pass had been incomplete, all right, yeah. So I'm trying to think of whether the tip back to Goff hurt them because it used up more seconds. But no, I think the game would have ended regardless. It would have been offensive pass interference, and that would have been the game over. So, anyway, yeah. So tough loss for the Lions. That's the Lions are an interesting case. I was talking to Sam about this yesterday.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, all this talk about, we in the NFL do not think about the future. Win this year. I don't care if you're rebuilding. I don't care if you have 53 rookies, because as you can see with the Lions, they blew that window. They blew that window they had. They were clearly the best team. They screwed around going for 4th downs, not kicking the field goals. And we'll get them next year. No, you're not. There's no guarantees in the NFL.
Nope.
No guarantees.
The Redskins are horrible.
Let's look at where we are in the NFL. And
can I just say one thing, Jim?
Let's take the NFC first because
Hold on, Ken wants to weigh in.
Ken, go.
Because I know you're probably going the same way, but am I totally naive that I just wanted the Patriots to keep winning and Denver to lose so that we got the number 1 seed and we got a bye?
Well, if you want to jump ahead to that.
Because if you get a bye, you automatically win a playoff round, don't you?
Right. And we're going to get to that. I want to knock this off first, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
We mind, but you can do it anyway.
All right.
I'm mindless, but
let's take the NFC because it's the easiest right now, okay?
Yeah.
There are only 2 playoff spots open in the NFC, which is the NFC South. So it's either going to be Carolina or Tampa Bay, probably Carolina. And then the other one is the Detroit-Green Bay battle for the wild card spot, which, Green Bay has a handle on right now. Ken, any observations? Who do you like in the NFC right now? Who do you think's playing the best?
Well, I don't follow them as closely as the AFC. But I think, I don't know, the Eagles scare me still. The Eagles scare me.
Yeah, they're a great team.
Yeah.
And Paul, the other great game of the week, and some people who follow it closer than I do called it the game of the year, was Seattle LA Rams, where Seattle
unbelievable
point conversion to win that game and jump up to the number 1 seed, which, as Ken said, is an automatic win and a bye, and drop the Rams from number 1 all the way to 5. That was a Thursday night game. You're a Thursday night football fan. Another spectacular game for the NFL.
Well, I wait all day for Thursday night.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Thursday. I don't work on Thursday because I'm just waiting.
Yeah, of course.
Thursday night football.
So is Seattle right now the best team in the NFC?
Well, let me tell you, as someone that used to have a job with a home office in Seattle, and I went to 4 Seattle Seahawks games, including a playoff game against the former Washington Redskins, which the Seahawks won. You do not want to play a playoff game in that stadium. If the only place you've ever been is Gillette, take my word for it. You have no idea how loud a stadium can be. My ears crackled. I remember going to see Aerosmith at the Civic Center in 1975 in the front row because I was a popcorn vendor and I got in early. And it was so loud. All I heard was crackling. I didn't even know what song they were playing. That's what it was like at the Seahawks games. So it's very difficult to play there, very difficult to win. And although I think the Rams are probably right now the best team in the NFC, if they've got to go to Seattle to get to the Super Bowl, that's a real advantage for the Seahawks. I think the Eagles are in that classic post Super Bowl down year. They've had a lot of problems this year. Ken is right. They still have a lot of talent. They still have, a good quarterback, good running back, good defense,
Yeah, they're a good
coaching,
all-around team.
good all-around team. But they've been struggling, and I think they could be beat. You do not want to go to Seattle. So right now, if Seattle's the number one seed or they end up the number one seed, I'm going with them because it's very difficult to play there.
Okay, Ken, let's get back to your point now. As we take on the AFC. Denver is 12-3. New England's 12-3. Their conference records are the same. So if they end in a tie, it goes to common opponents, and the Broncos would get that tie. So when you're saying you're right, yeah, the Pats, of course, would want to finish first. But as Paul said earlier, the Broncos on Christmas Day, which don't get me started. I'm going to go on a Berman-esque rant, like the designated hitter, which he was so right about all those years, about NFL on Christmas. But the Broncos are a lock. She's playing their third-string quarterback. To me, Ken, it comes down to this. The Chargers, even though it's not good for the Patriots that they win this week, if you want Pats to finish one, you need that Charger-Bronco final game to mean something. Because the Chargers could beat the Broncos. And the Chargers are 10-4, by the way.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good. They could pass the Pats if they win their division. So that's it for this. So what do you think the chances are of that?
Of what?
Of what?
Of the Broncos, fourth, losing the number one seed at this point.
Well, they got two games, one against the Chargers, and who's the other one against?
The Chiefs, without their two starting quarterbacks.
The Chiefs without Oh, so the Chiefs are a lock. Okay,
Yep.
So we got to win there. And then, but what's the scenario, because I don't know it totally, for the game to matter between the Chargers and the Broncos?
Chargers win.
Okay. So I'm going
Chargers have to win. And they're playing Houston.
I don't know. To me, the Broncos have been a team that's like squeaked out so many wins this year by some weird things and some really, I don't know. I think the Patriots are a better team than the Broncos. So I still think we got a good chance of beating the Jets and Miami and them losing one of those two games. That's my feeling. I think the Patriots have a pretty good shot at that number one seed.
The Charger-Bronco game is at LA. And Paul, you've been a big fan of Houston. Not a fan, but promoting Houston, who's playing well. They squeaked out against the Raiders, but they won. And at any time of year, I'm sorry, that's what matters. Just win.
That's right.
So, the Chargers are going to Houston. How do you look at that in the context of that's important for the Pats?
Here's where I'm at. The AFC, I think, is wide open. I think you can look around the league, the AFC, and make a case, and you say it's their year. Okay, they don't have to get by Patrick Mahomes. They don't have to get by Lamar Jackson. They're pretty good on the road. They have a dynamic veteran quarterback. This is their year. You can look at the Patriots and say they might have the best, hottest quarterback in the league with a team on the roll, very confident, good offensive team. Good kicker, by the way. No one talks about that. In cold weather so far, he's done very well. You look at a team like the Broncos, which have a clear home field advantage. And then you look at a team like Houston, which has that, defense no one wants to play. They get after the quarterback. They make it hard. And then you look at San Diego, and you got a very another really good quarterback with a very good experienced coach in Harbaugh. So it's not like when we were the dominant team and you'd say, who's going to beat the Patriots? Or it's not like when you had Kansas City and you'd say, who's going to beat the Chiefs? I think when you say the AFC is truly wide open, it's truly wide open. It's
Okay,
that's
okay,
where I'm at.
Yeah, we've talked about. I agree with that completely. Great analysis. I think 5 teams could win it too. And I actually
And I
think
didn't even
6.
mention the Jaguars.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it's
Yeah,
6 teams
Jaguars,
actually
too.
that could win it. We've talked about I think the possibilities of the Pats finishing number 1 are very slim, because the Chargers would have to win 2 in a row, and I don't know. But it's possible. Now let's focus then on the division, which would get the Pats a home game, which we'll get to in our last football segment. Here's the scenario for the Pats in the division. They are 1 game ahead of the Bills. If the Pats lose one of the last 2 games at the Jets or home against Miami, that would give them another division loss, which would tie them in the division with the Bills. Unlike a tie with Denver, where you go to conference records first, a tie within the division, you go to common opponents first. And the logic for the NFL behind that is with the way they schedule now, teams in their own division have 14 common opponents. Okay, so the Bills and Patriots have 14 common opponents. And of course, the head-to-head is split. The Bills, apparently, from what I read this morning, have that tiebreaker. So for the Pats to win the division, they need to either have the Bills lose and go 1-1 or win out. Ken, do you like the Pats' chances to win the division?
I do. I think they're going to win out. I think they're way better than the Jets in Miami. I think those two, the Jets have definitely given up. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you're a Jets fan. Paul, how are you a Jets fan?
I was a Jets fan.
I don't know. In
I
Miami,
look, my son-in-law, who I love like a son, I've tried, I've begged, I've pleaded,
he's a
I've
great
tried to
kid.
convert him. I've offered, money, because I don't want my grandchildren growing up with any taint of Jets fanness. I
Right.
don't think that's good for them.
No.
But no, I think the Patriots will be favored in both of their last 2 games. I
Yes.
think the Jets are tanking. The Miami game worries me because Miami always worries me. Miami's been, whether it was the miracle play at the end against, where Rob Gronkowski couldn't make the tackle, or that weird game when Belichick didn't even try to win back, I think it was in 2015 or whatever it was, 17.
Yeah.
There's just, we see it all the time. Teams at the end of the year play lousy opponents and lose. So I'm not taking anything for granted. I like the Patriots' chances in the last 2 games, but I don't think it's a lock. And I think that if they don't win the division, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my feeling is this is one case where they really got a chance to win this on their own, and they got a great chance. I agree. Going to New York, they should. New Jersey, really, they should win that game. The Jets aren't playing well for all the reasons. I'm not going to repeat them, but they should win that game. So then we get to Miami, and guys, one more thing before we get to that. The Jets, one more reason. The Jets right now, according to Tankathon, are picking 4th in the draft. If I'm a Jets fan, there's no way I want to win this game. I mean, having said that, being the Jets, they might just do it. But I like the Pats in that game. Now let's get to Miami. If the Pats win, this hasn't been talked about because I guess there's been so much else to talk about with the Pats this year, justifiably. The Pats will go 8-0 on the road. That would mean they would play 9 games, the Ken Berman 17th game, which Ken has spoken eloquently about in the past.
Don't get me started.
was actually at home this year. So the Pats only played 8 games on the road. And if they beat the Jets, they'll go 8-0. So, Paul, I think you're the one to ask this question to because you are a long-time season ticket holder.
40th year.
40th year
Wow.
anniversary for Paul. Ever since Tom Brady's last game, in which the Mike Vrabel coach Titans beat the Patriots in a playoff game at Gillette, let's face it, Gillette has been a house of horrors for the Patriots and basically where championship dreams go to die. So my first question to you is, that scares the heck out of me against Miami. What is the deal with this inability to win at home?
All kidding aside, I think it's just
Random.
I think that the crowd in New England is loud enough. I think that the team is built for cold weather. I just think that they have, I haven't pulled the numbers. Maybe you have. I think it's just random. When the Patriots were very good in the Brady era, they were almost as good on the road as they were at home.
Right.
Yep.
You've pointed out over the years that the so-called home field advantage is a hard thing to quantify because the home field advantage in the postseason usually means you're the better team.
Right.
Right? It's not like they're taking equal teams and doing a controlled study of playing them in different stadiums and seeing who wins. And according to Vegas, the home stadium is only worth 2 or 3 points anyway. So I think it's random. It's a fun thing to look at, but it does raise an eyebrow. I mean, to go on the road in the National Football League and you're not even considered a dominant team
No.
and win every single game. No other NFL team can say that.
Right.
No.
They're the only team.
So, Ken, my question to you is, it seems to me that Bob Kraft
Yep.
has 2 options here. Either, now let's, for the sake of this question, let's say the Pats beat the Jets. Kraft, to me, has 2 options. Number one, he can tank the Dolphins game so that they get a road game. All right? And
Big
not
fines involved in that. Big fines.
Well, I mean, come on. There's a lot of tanking going on and nobody gets fined. They do it smartly.
Yeah, but the Patriots will get fined and lose 5 draft picks.
And number 2, maybe there's some conflict at Gillette Stadium. I mean, Taylor Swift has offered to put on a $100 million concert or something to get us out of there. Should we do that?
Here's the difference now. Let me just say that yes, we've had some troubles at home for the last few years, things like that. But the big difference now is we have a quarterback again. And
who's 5-3 at home?
Right. And just
We
now
lost to the Raiders at home.
early on.
Early, late, middle. By the way, the Raiders are where is it? I
will now, with Drake May at the helm, I will take the number 1 seed, get the bye, and play that next game at home.
Raiders are 2-13. They're picking second according to Tankathon. Come on. Okay, I'm obviously kidding, just having some fun with this segment.
But
in all seriousness, I agree with Paul that this stuff is random and also a serious comment. I just believe in all sports now that home field advantage is not what it used to be. And we've had shows on this with the NBA and NHL where the road teams have won just as much as the home team.
But I still feel if I'm given the option, do I want to play a playoff game on the road or at home? I still feel like I'd rather play at home.
Yeah, all kidding aside, I'd rather play at home. I mean, obviously, and I want the number 1 seed because as Bobby Knight said about the NCAA tournament, when they used to give buys, you get a buy, you get a win. So
that's right. Buys
well,
all right, guys, we got a little. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. One thing to think about with home field advantage is they travel so much better than they used to. I mean, they're on private jets and luxury seating, and it's just I don't think it means what it used to mean. And also, every single stadium is deafeningly loud. So when you're on the field, what difference does it make if they're deafening loud for one? Especially in basketball.
Right.
What difference does it make?
Now, Tony Romo, and again, to conduct this part of the conversation seriously, feels that I heard him say last week that home field in the playoffs, he likes it because of the crowd noise during the snaps, the snap counts, because sometimes they're tough to hear. And, Paul mentioned at the beginning, Seattle, the volume. So
The 12th man.
Yeah, maybe that's a little advantage. So okay, we got a little time left. Obviously, just so much we could talk about the Pats, frankly, for a long time because this has been spectacular seasons, as Ken pointed out in the beginning. Let's just talk a couple of minutes, guys, about the Boston Celtics. They've just come off. Speaking of coming off two great games, as the Pats did. They had lost two in a row coming out of the the NBA Cup final, and people were starting to get a little nervous. Then they turned in a spectacular performance against Miami. Threes raining down. Derek White's pockets are full of threes again. Pritchard was outstanding. Jaylen Brown was phenomenal. And then Ugo played great. And then we go on the road to Toronto, who's had a good year. I mean, and they got talent. And they got Brandon Ingram. They're a good team.
Yeah.
And another great game by the Celtics. I mean, they were behind. Pritchard in the third quarter was just amazing. And they played without Jaylen Brown. And Derek White had a phenomenal fourth quarter. And Ugo Gonzalez, I mean, has been tremendous the last two games, especially the last game because, while we were texting, we didn't even know why, but Jordan Walsh had a touch of the flu, which is why he sat out a lot of the game. So, Ken, what are your observations on the little period for the Celtics?
Well, first of all, that second game against Toronto was the second night of a back-to-back.
Right.
Without Brown playing. Already beat Toronto in Toronto once this year. They come there, they're behind for a good portion of the second and third quarter, but then Pritchard goes off for 19 points in the third quarter. 19 points from PP to get him a 3-point lead heading into that fourth quarter. And then they just started making threes. Once they got going, boy, but Toronto had no answer. And the Celtics got hot. And I thought that was a tremendous win on a second night of back-to-back without Brown playing. And Brown, I guess, the night before had a touch of the flu and scored 30. So this team, we've said it before, I'll say it again. They are overachieving. I don't care what anybody says. They are overachieving.
Oh.
Well, I want to talk about Ugo Gonzalez. In his last four games, this is what he's done. Okay. And we're talking about a 19-year-old kid who was kind of, when he was drafted, there was some in the Boston media that kind of made light of it. Like he was a G League player, a developmental player. That's not this kid. This kid is a legit NBA talent. Just in the last four games against some pretty decent opponents, including Toronto and Miami, he's averaged 22 minutes a game, 8 points, 7 rebounds, a steal, and a block. Tremendous defensive player, all-out hustle, fearless. We saw that dunk the other night in Toronto. Every team in the NBA would want him. That's how good he is. He's got tremendous upside. He's a very good player. As for the team as a whole, I am very impressed with their effort. You guys may disagree. I know you're the basketball aficionados, but I think the NBA players play at about 85-90% during the regular season, unless it's Christmas Day, unless it's a Sunday afternoon network game. It's a sort of an unwritten rule. The Celtics are violating that rule. They are playing all out. Tough defense, relentless pressure every night. And think about, we've talked about this before, no Drew Holiday, no Luke Cornett, no Kristaps Porzingis, no Jason Tatum, no Al Horford. And they're winning. I mean, they gutted their roster and replaced those players with former G League players, draft choices, guys they picked up, in trades. And I think Brad Stevens has got a very difficult decision to make because I think he thought this was going to be a bridge year. and they'd get to February and they'd trade that contract of Anthony Simons away and shed some money and save some money under the cap. But they can't do that now because they're legitimately in the hunt in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Yeah, they're third and they're 17-11, which is a 607 winning percentage.
Right.
If you told me they were going to win 60% of their games after 28 games, I would have said there's no way.
No way.
Yeah, Ugo has been an incredible find. And speaking of Brad Stevens, kudos to him for drafting him. I mean, yes, the fact he played for Real Madrid at his age is a plus in his favor, obviously. But he also only averaged 3 minutes a game, which means how much did the Celtics see of this kid?
3
Now,
minutes.
if you redrafted this draft, now that people have seen him play, who knows? I'm not saying he's top 5. He's not. But he's not 30. I mean, no. I think he's top 15 at least.
Right now.
Floor, top 15 right now. His plus minus is plus 111, which is the highest among any rookie. And I know there's a lot of flaws in that stat. But
it was plus 37 last night against Toronto and plus 37.
Plus 37.
Yeah, that's like Chamberlain being in the game.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And it was plus 22 against Miami.
Yeah, and two other things. One, to Paul's point about the effort. This is the most similar I can think of to rooting for the Celtics to this season is the Collins era, because that was an era where centers dominated the game, and the Celtics had an undersized center, and every night was, pardon the pun, David versus Goliath, versus Jabbar, versus Thurman, versus Reed, all guys that were bigger than him, even the guys that weren't as good as him, with the exception of maybe an Alvin Adams or a Wes Unseld. And it was like every night the South Collins would play 100% and Havlicek would play 100%, and they did remarkable things. This team matches that team for effort and underdog. And yeah, I think, Paul, another way to put it is they're playing with playoff intensity. I think NBA players, contrary to popular belief, play really hard. But if you watch the playoffs, they don't play as hard as they can because the playoffs are a different animal.
Right.
I think Christmas games they do. I think, even though I'm not a big fan of this now, I think they need to make a lot of adjustments to it. The semifinals and final of the NBA Cup, they played playoff intensity. They did. The players wanted to win that in Vegas. They just did for whatever reason. Maybe the money. Everybody likes. I mean, I know they're rich, but $500,000 is $500,000. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and my last point is one Ken brought up about the threes. When they lose, the media goes, "Oh, he's stubborn. He's this. He's that." Look, guys, that argument may have held water last year. Okay, we can debate that. This year, this is non-debatable. First of all, the Celtics are not taking 63s a game. The game where they didn't hit any threes, they took 39.
Right.
This is the 2025-26 NBA. 39 is reasonable. It's the 60 where we can. Secondly, other than Jaylen Brown, they don't have a post game. They don't have Porzingis. They don't have Tatum to post up. They don't have guys who've got a lot of experience with this. The three is the great equalizer. I've said this. Watch the quality of shot with the three, because this team to win has to hit threes. They do. They just do. They don't have a lot else. Now, if Tatum comes back 100%, okay, let's revisit this. Because he's got a post game. Eddie House was on that 2 years ago, and I agree with him. The Celtics should post Tatum more. He's very good at it.
Yep.
Jaylen Brown, by the way, is taking mostly twos.
Yeah, he's taking very few threes.
The maestro of the mid-range. They're taking twos. Creighton Pritchard at his best is getting into the paint. But if you're telling me to post Luka Gaza, no. I mean, he was great the other night. It's all effort.
But let me stay on that. So I would post Kada every once in a while. He's pretty good.
And he doesn't have any post moves.
I think he does. They don't use it. But I want to get back to two other things real quick. And I know we're going to move on. Paul mentioned Hugo Gonzalez. What's really impressing me is his rebounding numbers because they're so small a lot of the time. He's grabbing big rebounds, averaging 7 rebounds a game for 22 minutes of play. That's like Moses Malone numbers.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's a great
ridiculous.
point. Yeah.
That's
point.
really where I've been impressed. And I don't know if you mentioned that Brad Stevens has a tough decision because he really thought this was a bridge year to reset. I don't know if you read that whole article about the new owner, Chisholm. Did you guys read that?
No,
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great article. Read it, Paul, if you get a chance in the Globe.
Very good.
I don't get the Globe. You guys
Oh.
never send it to me.
Sorry, we'll send it to
No,
you.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Actually, I saved it for you so you can read it. In that article, Stevens said after Chisholm got the team, and then looking at the numbers, he's called them up and said, "Hey, sorry, but we got to reset." Because they were going to be $540 million here, and the numbers were out of control to stay
Right.
the way they were. And after Chisholm got the team and was all excited, Brad Stevens calls him up and says, hey, because of Tatum's injury and stuff like that, we're going to have to reset. Now, this is a guy who just spent $6 billion, and your president's calling you up and saying, hey, it's going to be a bridge year. And so, to Paul's point, that's why I wanted to bring that up. And Stevens all of a sudden has a 17-11 team on his hand.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes left. Let's explore that. What you guys have brought up. We got about 5 minutes. I think, look, if this keeps up, the thing with Simons, the money's coming off the books.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do you get anything for him? And I think if this keeps up and they have good medicals on Tatum, they're going to have to keep him. And they just won't get anything for him, even though he'll walk next year. But to lose that guy, if you're winning 60% of your games without Jason Tatum, my feeling is, okay, we don't get a number 2 pick or a backup big man or whatever he would garner. They're just going to have to accept
Although
that.
they do get $34 million off their cap.
They're going to lose the money off the cap anyway after the season.
Right. So
he's a free agent. It's just the ideal thing in a bridge year would be at the trading deadline, you trade him and you get something.
Well, they also saved some money this year because they're not paying him for the whole year. They get some relief there.
True.
But I think that
True.
If I had to guess, I guess they will move him because they're a championship-driven organization, and they probably look at Oklahoma and say, even if we win 48, 49 games, which would be a great year, especially for those of us that put action on the over-under at 41 and a half. Okay. All right. Even if they win 48, 49 games, we're not getting by Oklahoma. We're not getting by Denver, even if Tatum comes back. And if it's an opportunity to get something, I suspect they'll do it. The scary thing to me is the Perkins trade, which was sort of in the middle of a decent year, trading a good player, future focused. It's not always a good thing to do.
Yeah, me personally, I would. If they're getting Tatum back, I would keep him. I mean, you know me, I love getting draft picks. I love that. But if you got a chance to make the finals, even though I agree, OKC, Denver, they're just too strong. But make the finals.
Well, let me ask you a question, basketball buddies. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How much better are they? And by the way, we're the only show that would ask this question because they don't allow you to ask outrageous questions on other shows.
Yeah.
How much better are they with Tatum?
Ken?
What I mean, with what they have now and just adding Tatum?
Yeah, how much better?
Better.
I think right now they're winning 60% of their games. What are they going to win? 80% of their games?
No, but keeping the 60% might be tough with the roster they have. You don't know as the season goes on. But you add a Tatum, who's first team All NBA 3 years in a row, whatever. You get better. I don't know how much better, but you definitely get better.
I'm not convinced. I think that the way they're playing right now would change dramatically if you added the alpha dog to that. I think it would slow the game down a little bit. Okay. And I think it would take away opportunities from guys that are playing ahead of their skis a little bit. That's not to say I don't want him to come back, but I don't think it's a guarantee that if he comes back, they significantly improve in the one-loss column.
But here's
ahead.
just one thing. The two words I say that they could be a much better team is now that you've added Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez, which could possibly be two bench players when Tatum's back. I don't know. I think that would be a pretty strong unit.
Yeah, I think two things. One, when the rest of the league gets up to playoff intensity, is going to be a factor. And two, they haven't gone west yet. They haven't played Denver. They haven't played
Absolutely
OKC.
right.
Yeah.
They got blown out by Houston at home.
Right.
They haven't played Wemby yet. So I think that record's going to go down, frankly. And I think, but I will say this: people who think, to Paul's point, people who think that Jason Tatum, even if he's healthy, is going to walk in and the Celtics are just going to win, wrong.
Right.
It is going to take a while for this team
To adapt.
to adjust to Jason Tatum and vice versa. It's going to take a while. And I think if he's going to come back, coming back just for the playoffs is going to be really hard. First of all, as Scal says, playing with that level of intensity. And second, the adjustment. The team's going to have a big adjustment. So anyway, we've got a couple of minutes. Paul, big. Well, I hate to use the word big, but let's just say Red Sox trade. Ken Berman texted us during the Patriots game yesterday that the Red Sox do not have a first baseman, do not have a third baseman, do not have a second baseman. And lo and behold, within, I believe, 1 hour of that text, the Boston Red Sox acquire Wilson Contreras, a former three-time All-Star as a catcher, by the way, who's been converted to a first baseman. Hit 20 homers last year, has good WAR and all that. What do you think?
This is who the Boston Red Sox are. They're a team that, like if you look, you go into Baseball Reference and you plug in Wilson Contreras and you hit the compare button to Pete Alonso. Wilson Contreras is Pete Alonso light.
Mm-hmm.
He's a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna get you,
power.
assuming he's healthy, he's gonna get you 22 home runs, not 29 home runs. He's going to drive in 65, 75 runs, not 90 to 100 runs. And he's going to be cheaper, and he's going to have less money going out in terms of years. And how do they get him? They get him by trading prospects. They trade the pitcher, Dobbins, who looked to be a back-of-the-end rotation kind of pitcher, and a couple of other guys in single A and double A not worth mentioning. This is who the Red Sox have become. And frankly, I'm moving on from complaining about it. Okay, I am. They may have stumbled. I'm going to give them credit. You know, it's easy for Felger and Maz to say, we don't get we don't get Alonso, we don't get Juan Soto, we don't get the Japanese guys that make hundreds of millions of dollars. Not all those deals work out. You think the Mets are happy that they signed Juan Soto to almost $1 billion? I'm not sure they are. They're now shedding payroll. Mm-hmm. They're now letting free agents go. The fact that it's working for the Dodgers is one case study, but there are many other case studies around baseball, and we've seen it forever, that show that signing free agents to really, really, really long-term expensive contracts is not necessarily a guarantee of success. It's just not. So if they have stumbled onto this thing where they produce young players and they go out there and they get second B-plus free agents or veterans and they fill slots and sprinkle in their own Roman Anthony's and Kristen Campbell's and those guys here and there, maybe that'll work.
All right, Ken, we've got a couple minutes here. It's almost the top of the hour. You got a first baseman that you wanted. Marcelo Maya, who of course was hurt at the end of the year, proved he can play either second or third, so he'll probably depend on who they get. So they go maybe two of what you were looking for. Is this what you wanted?
Well, this helps for sure. And can I I'm just gonna say, is this the end of the Tristan Cassis era? I hope, because that's been nothing but a disaster at first base. I'm sorry. Yes, he got injured, whatever, but they need a first baseman who can consistently hit the ball, and they got a right-hander. So good for them. And I don't think they gave up that much. So good for them. Now, I would love to see him sign Bregman. And
That would finish the infield. Yeah, this guy is right-handed hitter, which balances their lineup.
Right.
I also got no problem with them keeping 4 outfielders because, as we saw at the end,
someone's going to get hurt.
Will get hurt. And also, Duran can play center very well. So, anyway, all right.
By the way, just for the record, I'm out on Bregman. Tired of his act. The Red Sox offered him a lot of money. He chose to bow out. Goodbye. Plus, it's very difficult for him to get through 155 games, never mind 162, 140. I didn't think he was a dynamic addition to the Red Sox lineup last year. I think that you get a bridge third baseman and try to make another deal to get somebody who's a legit player that is not going to break down like he has. I think Bregman is overrated, overvalued, and over his skis. That's twice I said that. If he thinks he's going to get, he wants like $200 million. No way I give him that. Yeah. No way. I would have rather kept Devers.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for him. No question about that. And because you're right, he was 2 different players last year. He was pretty good before he got hurt. Then he broke down, and, it is a big rest. Okay.
Move on.
Guys, I think we've covered a wide range of topics, and just want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. Another big game next week on the road in Jersey against the Jets, and that's it. I'm Jim Russo with Paul Izzo and Ken Berman for Boston Sports Nuts. See you next time.
Thank you for watching Boston Sports Nuts. You can find all of our episodes available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For more information, go to westwoodmediacenter.tv or follow Boston Sports Nuts on Facebook, Instagram, and X.